Yes, my concern is with the liability transfer proposals within the Posted Workers Directive. And I would like to ask the Commissioner whether he does not think this is going a little bit too far in taking this to a European level, considering most Member States do not have these provisions in their whole legal framework, in that, and particularly those Member States that have developed economies based on large numbers of very specialised contractors. In fact, these contractors are largely thought of as suppliers, and would it not be true to say that there is a possibility here that we're moving towards a situation where customers are held responsible for their suppliers' actions, which certainly in many Member States would be thought of as contravening natural justice? So I would ask whether, indeed, in some Member States which have these highly competitive economies based on lots of small contractors, would it not in fact counter a move towards a more competitive economy?
Commission?
I believe, first of all, that the proposal for joint and several liability in the construction industry is not excessive. It helps creating a level playing field and focuses the efforts where the problems are the greatest. And I think it is also important to notice that most of the famous so-called controversial cases in the history of posting of workers in Europe come from countries or areas where this liability regime is not applied. In fact, where it is applied in various ways, there is already a better, more clean, less ambiguous practice with posting of the workers. But I should also add that under the proposal which we made, the joint and several liability will not be mandatory if there is a due diligence procedure. In countries which you refer to, some of the so-called highly competitive countries, although some of these highly competitive might just be in recession or a very difficult situation currently, but there are due diligence practices, good practices of that, and in that case the joint and several liability would not apply. Nevertheless, I still believe it's a very important and helpful proposal. It simply requires a company to look at who the subcontractor is and what the background, what the history of that business partner.
Supplementary?
Very quickly, I'm probably not going to agree with the Commissioner on this one, but instead of a supplementary, I just want to point out that Mrs Harkin actually thought she was recognised from the panel by the chairs as aides very early on in the debate, before I even arrived, and she hasn't been called. I just wanted to point that out.